Good morning and welcome to the Center for Spiritual Living Midtown. Such is the nature of life that all it asks and all it wants is the opportunity to appear. You are that opportunity, and so am I, and so it is. And because we are here to remind ourselves each day and all the time that we are expressions of that infinite power that we live in and that is having its way through us, knowing itself, expressing itself, and loving, then we honor you. We believe in you, and we are here to support one another and to support you in the business of life, in the business of living the very best possible life that you can imagine. And to that end, we gather each week, and to that end, we support each other in other kinds of experiences and other kinds of things. So as we look at this whole business of living and living well, I will share with you what we believe, because our declaration of principle is something that we turn to and look at all times. So it goes like this. I believe in one God, one absolute power and first cause to all things. I believe that this power is perfect love and creates out of a desire to express love. I believe all thought is creative, and how I choose to think creates my experience. I believe in the unity of all life and the immortality of the individual soul forever unfolding. I believe in the eternal goodness, the eternal loving kindness, and the eternal givingness of God to all. And so today we are excited to have with us a guest speaker, Reverend Raymont Anderson. He is the minister in Baltimore at the CSL Baltimore Center, and he is one of our younger and newer ministerial participants. He became a minister in the organization in the last few years, but he comes from a very rich background in New Thought. He is exciting, he is enthusiastic, and he is a wonderful speaker. So you're in for quite a treat today as Reverend Raymont shares with us. And he's speaking on the title, Boldly Living a New Story. Pretty exciting, huh? So before then, however, we're going to have some music. We're going to have a spiritual mind treatment by Judy Ailey. She is one of our lead practitioners, and she will be guiding you through a bit of some new ideas, and some affirmative prayer as well. And that will be coming right now following me. She will also come back later to share with you our prosperity celebration and some announcements. Take it away, Judy.
All right. Well, thank you so much for being here today and for joining us at CSL Midtown. Today, our topic is boldly living a new story. And the affirmation for today, I really love. It says, today I release my old story and behold the new me as the beloved. Well, we all have our own story or stories. Some of these stories are really old, but we may have been clinging to them for a long time. You know, when I think back about my own old stories, if I go way back, I had an old story of poor self-worth and low self-esteem. I had a history of bad, unhappy, unhealthy relationships. I had this belief even after I'd been studying this teaching for a while. My belief was that everyone else was worthy of good things in their lives, including love, but somehow I just wasn't. Somehow I had this old belief, this old story deep inside me that said that I was flawed at the essential inner level. You know, none of this made sense to me at an intellectual level, but it was somehow, that was how I was feeling in my core. You know, I had studied this teaching long enough to know better. But guess what? My story just kept playing out just like you would expect that it would. But the amazing thing about our teaching, it tells us that we can change our story. It might take some deliberate work. It might take some time. But if we persist, it can change, and we can rewrite our story for it to be the way we want it to be, the way we want it to turn out. I love the affirmation today that as we release our old story, that we then behold the new me as the beloved. I think that this is exactly what happened to me over a period of time. I think I got so tired of apologizing for my very existence to people. And I just was not happy with what appeared to be my lot in life, a life of loneliness and sadness. And, you know, we're not really given a negative lot in life. The lot in life we've been given is actually a life of good. But our life can be changed and rewritten at the core. I had to work deliberately and consistently with myself to rewrite my story into the life I have now, a life that is great and expanding and good. First, I had to have some idea of what I wanted my life to look like. I wanted a life that had love and friendship, and a life where I felt like I fit in and that I had something to offer to my world. A life that I felt like and believed in my heart of hearts that my life mattered. And, you know, gradually it did begin to change. And I have to say now that that old story of low self-esteem and inner flawedness is really a dim shadow of the past, the past. I'm in a really great, healthy marriage. And when I think about it, it's really astounding to me. But I sort of take it for granted, but I'm so grateful. I feel good about myself. I can really say now with great confidence and belief that I am whole, perfect, and complete at the soul and spiritual level. So we can change our story. We can change the story of our own life. And I believe that we can change the story of the world that we live in. But that's a whole nother topic. But we get to decide. I know that the universe, the spirit of love and goodness that is there to meet us and express through us as great good. I used to think I had to have a huge amount of faith to transform my life. But really what I found was that if we approach spirit with sincerity, we will be responded to. And it doesn't take a huge amount of faith. I believe it only takes a tiny bit of light to shine through, a tiny bit of belief in the possibility of something new. And I would suggest that we are all still writing our stories as we live day by day. And it's always expanding into greater and greater good. And as my story transforms, I see myself as fully connected to this oneness and this wholeness that we